Welcome back to Creep It Weird.
Hi.
It's Liss's week. This week, in honor of his 121st birthday being a few months ago, we're going to be covering Robert the doll.
Oh, no way. You're right. This is going to be a good one.
You have to cover him. Like, you can't do anything creepy and not include him.
Now, did you ask for permission?
All throughout researching, I was sitting here saying, I'm sorry for looking at you, Robert.
Don't you have to write a letter or something and send it in?
A lot of people do. I haven't. Nothing's happened that has caused me to yet. But if I have, if it comes to that, it will come to that. Don't scare me. So how have you been?
Well, I've had the flu, so I've been Ralphing my guts up for 3 days.
Nice.
So that's been fun.
I feel like every time I talk to you lately.
Best weight loss I've ever had. Yeah. So I had COVID a couple weeks ago. Then I had the flu. This is what I get for working at the hospital with a shat immune system.
That's terrible. Do you wear a mask?
I do. I wear a mask. I put gloves on. I use hand sanitizer. I do all this stuff and I still end up sick.
Well, maybe you have to go the opposite way and go eat some dirt.
Yeah, PSA, stop using the emergency department as a fuck-sucking doctor's office. It is not a doctor's office. It is not an urgent care. It is a fucking emergency room for freaking emergencies only.
Fuck-sucking doctor's office. Okay.
Yeah, guess what? I have had COVID more than once. I have had the flu. I have had all of this. And guess how many emergency room trips I took? 0. Because you do not belong in the emergency room with the flu.
I hate the emergency room. I urgent care it if at all possible. Or most of it you can do on telehealth. Yeah. But if you do need the emergency room, ignore Natasha and go. If it really is an emergency, go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're if you got a bone hanging out or, you've actually got an emergency, you got hives, you have an allergic reaction, go to the emergency room.
Yeah.
But if you've got the sniffles or a bellyache, stop. Come on. I literally had somebody who slipped and bumped their head. They did not lose consciousness. They were not bleeding. They literally were 20-something. They fell and bumped their head and they were in the ER. What the hell?
Was he okay?
They were fine.
Okay. Well, that's
good. They were fine, yeah. No concussion, no nothing. They were fine.
That's good stuff.
Now, the guy that came in and he fell and bumped his head, he had blood running down his head. Yes, come into the emergency room. Glad to see you. Let's stitch you or glue you up. Let's do this. People drive me insane.
Yeah, I don't like people either. So we'll transition to the doll, I guess.
People suck. Not our people, though. Our people are awesome.
They are.
All right. So let me hear about this doll.
Robert is often...
Wait, here, let me get my doll. This is my other doll. This is not my haunted doll, but it is my other one. She's a little bunny rabbit.
Oh, I couldn't tell because the ears were back. I was like, oh, it's just an old lady with 2 black button eyes. 'Tis a cute doll.
She's very, very old and she's been in the family for a while, so I'm pretty sure she's probably haunted as, as all get out.
Maybe that's the ghost that always...
I need to tie her bonnet back.
That always makes you want to go pee.
Maybe that's my...
Your bladder ghost.
That's my old lady ghost. Maybe that's my old lady one. Yeah, my bladder bunny.
Yeah, so Robert is often said to be the most haunted doll in the world. He's over 100 years old. Like I just said, he just had his 121st birthday and he's looking great.
Looking good. Dapper.
Yeah, absolutely. We love you, Robert. He's made out of fabric and straw.
Yeah, we love you, Robert.
He's around 40 inches tall or around 101.6 centimeters. And he weighs around 6 pounds. I forgot to convert the 6 pounds, so I don't know. But he's...
Wait, is that 3 feet?
3 feet and 4 inches.
That's over 3 feet, because 3 feet's 36 inches.
Yeah. So 3 feet, 4 inches.
That's a big-ass doll. I didn't realize he was so big.
It makes me think of, do you remember the life-size Barbie dolls?
Oh, I used to have one.
Yeah, me too. So that size is what I kind of think of.
Oh, okay. Okay.
He weighs around 6 pounds. He's dressed in a sailor suit with 2 beady eyes and a nose that is just 2 pinholes.
Ooh.
His face shows...
No offense, Robert.
His face shows visible stitching and covered in... I don't know what to call them. I call them pock marks. If you have acne and you pick at it. So he has the little dots on his face.
Like little dimples or whatever.
Yeah. And he has a devilish smirk, and he's one of a kind.
Ooh. Well, I'd say so.
On his lap, Robert holds his own toy. To me, it looks like a toy dog, but I've seen it in some places being called a lion named Leo, or I've seen a teddy bear. I don't know if you want to take a guess at what it is, but to me, it looks like a dog that he's holding in his lap.
I mean, after 121 years, it probably doesn't look like whatever it looked like 121 years ago. Has he had the toy the whole time?
No.
Okay, so maybe it's not as old.
But I guess originally he was supposed to be like a jester looking doll, and that makeup and everything fell off.
Oh, okay.
So Robert's changed over the years. He reinvented himself.
New year, new me.
Yep. So the story starts in 1905 at 534 Eaton Street in Key West, Florida. There resided the prominent Otto family, with the father Thomas and the mother Minnie,
Aw.
who also, I love Minnie.
I know it's my grandma's name. That's why that's one of my middle names. Wait, how'd they spell it?
Minnie.
Yep, that's it.
Thomas Otto was a physician who also owned some local pharmacies. And Robert did receive the doll. And there are two common origin stories on how he got the doll. One being that a servant of the Otto household who was a bohemian, I've seen she was from the Bahamas or from Haiti or Jamaica. So one of the three.
An islander.
She worked for the family, and her name was Emmeline, and she was known to practice voodoo. And I guess that this is one of there's so many like variations in this, that it could be this, it could be this, it could be this. But some say it was because of Emmeline having a consensual or non-consensual affair with Mr. Otto, which resulted in a baby that passed away. While she was living at the Otto house, she also lost a child that her and her husband conceived. And maybe while practicing voodoo,
Jeez Louise,
she made the doll, and some say that it's stuffed with human hair, and somehow something attached to it, or someone or something, maybe the spirit of the baby that died, or something much darker, and that she was wronged somehow by the Otto family.
Oh.
While the more popular theory being that Robert, the doll, who was said to be made around 1902 by the German Steff Company, who made the teddy bear, and Robert Eugene Otto's grandfather, I didn't even talk about him yet. He's the family's son who was 4 years old. His grandfather went to Germany on a trip and purchased this doll for his grandson. And the company didn't really want to sell this one-of-a-kind doll because it was made to be part of a window display as like a clown display, which makes it so much creepier.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
So the grandfather somehow convinced them to sell him the doll so he could gift it to his grandson. So back to Robert Eugene Otto, who was turning 4. He received the doll, and immediately Robert Eugene Otto was enamored with the doll. The family, like I said, was celebrating his fourth birthday, and this became his favorite toy. He disregarded all of his other toys, which, I mean, great, he loves the doll, but it got really weird really quick. He decided to give the doll his clothes, a sailor suit, one that he used to wear, and he decided to give the doll his name. Robert Eugene Otto said the doll is now called Robert the Doll, and he made it clear that everyone was to call him Gene, off of his middle name, Eugene. So now the doll has his clothes and his name.
So the doll goes by Robert. Robert now goes by Eugene.
Yes. The doll didn't have a name, and then Robert was like, here, you can have my name, you can have my clothes, I'll just go by my middle name.
Okay. That happens sometimes.
I've never seen it, I'll take your word for it.
Well, I mean, a lot of people go by their middle name.
Yeah, but at 4, just being like, here, now the doll is me. It wears my clothes, it has my name.
You know.
I'd be like, therapy.
I know a good therapist. Let's hook you up.
Gene was very protective of Robert. If he was eating food, he wanted Robert to be served as well. He treated him like part of the family and expected everyone else to as well.
So creepy. Your screen's all fuzzy too. I can't see a clear picture of you.
I don't know what to do. It says I have full bars on the internet.
It's all right. It's what you get for writing about Robert.
That's true. That's probably what it is. If things around the house were broken or moved, or whatever spilt, Jean would say Robert did it.
Oh.
Which, okay, kids have imaginations. But
Yes.
Jean would have these long conversations with Robert. But what was strange is others in the Otto household would walk by Jean's room and hear Jean carrying on with Robert, and then they would hear another guttural voice speaking back to Jean.
Oh, shit. Okay. At first, I was like, oh, imaginary friend. No big deal. I take it back. It's a big deal. It's okay as long as it doesn't talk back. When it starts talking back, that's when you got problems.
Yes. That everyone's hearing. So maybe we're past therapists now.
Yeah. Straight to exorcism. We need an old priest and a young priest. Stat.
And when people would be gathered in a room in the Otto's house having a conversation, they would say that Robert would appear to follow along, like his eyes almost moving, even though they were black beady eyes, so I don't see how they could move. But they said that if they spoke ill of Jean, Robert's facial expression would change, like into a scowl or something of disdain.
Ooh. Well, yeah, it's his bro. It's his homie.
One night, Jean's mother, Minnie, awoke in the middle of the night to hear Jean screaming. She sprinted towards his room only to find all of his furniture overturned and Jean cowering on one side of the bed, with Robert sitting on the other end of the bed just staring at Jean.
Yeah, that's not something you want to walk into.
Giggles and footsteps would be heard around the house while Jean was fast asleep. One of the servants in the house even reported seeing Robert run up the stairs and turn a corner.
Well, that escalated quickly.
Jean's mother was understandably creeped out, so Robert was locked away. And I guess many times he would get out of it and she'd have to like relock him up. He'd be locked away in like a chest and then he'd just appear again. But who knows if Jean was doing it or Robert was getting out.
Yeah, true. Kids get into stuff all the time.
But I would definitely lock something away if my child was like that codependent on a toy.
It's like taking the security blankie away, though.
But when he's having conversations with this like demonic thing back, it's like back to him. That would be a little bit of a problem.
Maybe he just has a sore throat.
So Jean grew up. He went off to college. He studied architecture and art in New York and Paris, and he found his way in the world. He also found love. He met Annette Parker, a concert pianist, and the two were married in 1930 in Paris. After Jean's parents passed away, Annette and Jean moved back into Jean's childhood home at 534 Eaton Street in Key West, Florida. There in the house was Robert, waiting for his long-lost Jean, and the two were reunited at last.
Oh, yeah. What a wonderful homecoming. I'm sure the wife loved it.
What's not to love? You've seen pictures of Robert before.
Yeah. I try not to look at him because, you know.
I'm sorry for looking at you, Robert. Jean went right back to treating Robert like part of the family, insisting on bringing the doll with him anywhere he went. He'd sit him at the dinner table. He would carry on conversations with Robert. And he set up this room in the attic for Robert, and visitors would hear footsteps coming from Robert's room in the attic when visiting, and they'd notice things around the house being moved.
Nope. That's a whole lot of nope.
Right? We're the priests. Jean would spend hours on end in a closed-up room with Robert. They would talk while Jean would paint in the art studio, and eventually the house became known as the artist house. Jean got Robert some size-appropriate furniture for his room.
Oh, my God. Okay. Did these two not have children?
They did not.
Oh. I'm not sure that makes it worse or better.
If something happened in the house, just like when he was a child, Jean would tell his wife, Robert did it.
Oh, my gosh.
Annette, understandably creeped out by the doll. She asked him to keep it locked up, but he didn't. The neighbors were just as creeped out. The neighborhood kids would pass the house and see Robert move window to window. And in 1974, Jean died. And some places say right after Mrs. Otto moved to Boston, and some say that she went insane and died there and now haunts the house. So again, variations.
Yeah, either she went crazy or she died or she got out unscathed.
Either or.
Okay.
So the artist house was sold to a woman named Myrtle Reuter with the clause that Robert stays in the house. Would you buy a house that was like, here, this is for sale, but you have to keep this doll here?
I'd bury that motherfucker in the wall. Out of sight, out of mind, man.
Is that any better, though, than you just tap it on the walls?
You wouldn't have to see it. Well, I don't know. Would you rather have it running around the house?
I don't know if it's better to have a...
I'm thinking iron chains, salt around the edges. You dump salt in, then you dump him in, then you dump salt on top of him. Throw some holy water in there for good measure.
People who went to the house reported hearing footsteps at the attic and child's giggles. Myrtle Reuter said that Robert would move throughout the house, often being found in different rooms, moving on his own. And eventually, she just had enough of Robert and donated him to the Fort East Martello Museum in Key West, Florida. And then she died soon after.
Was it because she gave the doll up? Nobody knows.
Well, 20 years, I don't know how old she was when she died, but she could have just died of old age a few months later, coincidental, or it could have been because of Robert. Who knows?
Yeah, this is like King Tut's curse.
The artist house is now a bed and breakfast and a stop on haunted tours. While at the museum, people came from all over the world to see Robert. And people would report electronic or camera malfunctions while near Robert. And soon the museum was flooded with apology letters for disrespecting Robert. He's housed inside of a protective glass case at the museum that a fan donated, which is moisture controlled to prevent mildew and UV protection glass to protect him from the sun. And in the case, he's said to move around, be found in different positions, or said to tap on the glass. Because of all the apology letters, the museum realized that they had to put some rules in place. So the first rule is when you go in, you have to say hello to Robert, introduce yourself. You have to ask permission before taking a photo of Robert. But on that, some people say that he nods, and some people say that he does nothing, so you're just like hoping for the best. I don't know.
Or the worst. I don't know. It depends on what you're in there for, I guess.
And you must say goodbye when you're leaving. And most importantly, do not disrespect Robert. People have reported a plethora of misfortune for not following the rules, from camera rolls being blank after taking a photo without asking permission, to bad luck, to bad dreams, to death. And the room that Robert is held in is said to have like orbs being seen. People report while visiting Robert feeling their knees being touched. And during this Atlantic Paranormal Society convention in Clearwater, Florida, a picture was taken of Robert after permission was received from him, trying to take his aura photo. And I guess that he does have an aura, which objects obviously are not supposed to have.
Yeah. People
have left and blamed loss of careers, marriages, fires, being struck by lightning, all on Robert. Some people feel pushed, or
Wasn't there a guy that got in a motorcycle crash with his girlfriend or by himself or something?
Yeah, that was after he was making fun of Robert, and then they crashed, and I think he died and she survived. There's so many stories of encounters and people apologizing because something happened. And some say they feel like they are followed home by Robert, which is horrifying. They'll hear like giggling or running around your house, or you'll just have a lot of dreams of Robert. Our connection is so bad today. I don't know if that's him or what's going on.
It is.
But it's like terrible. And I'm trying to keep this flowing, but it feels so choppy because I don't know when to talk.
Yeah, we didn't have a problem until we started doing this.
Yep. Sorry, Robert.
Sorry, Robert.
So, Robert,
please let us finish.
He does get his annual physical, leaving his case and being weighed and checked and making sure that he's all set. On Robert, some people think that maybe he's a portal, or did Gene open something up after giving the doll his identity? Or is this entity really cursed? Can it curse people? What do you think on that?
I feel like if you're going the voodoo thing, you'd have to have something from someone to complete this voodoo ritual to have it have an effect. So in theory, it would only be able to affect Eugene if he had anything or whatever hair or whatever was in it. Maybe these people just have bad luck.
Couldn't that just attach the deceased daughter to the doll with the hair?
Yeah.
Because some people do report seeing a little ghost girl, like mixed race ghost girl that's like 4 or 5 around the auto house. And some people think that that's who's on the doll, but some people think it's multiple entities attached to the doll.
Well, and two, it's kind of like Friday the 13th. How many times, you might get up this morning and you stub your toe and you're like, son of a bitch, I stubbed my toe, blah, blah, blah. You don't think anything of it. But if it's like Friday the 13th and you stub your toe, you're like, oh, it's Friday the 13th, I'm having bad luck.
So they're just finding it because they're looking for it.
See what I'm saying? Like maybe they associate it. Exactly. Like for me, there must be 50,000 Robert the Dolls around here because I'm constantly having accidents.
Another theory being that Robert really isn't all that bad. According to David L. Sloan, who wrote a book about Robert, he thinks he may actually be a kobold, probably pronouncing that terribly, which is a German household spirit who are known to be helpful and playful, but can get nasty if they're disrespected. So knowing that he's giggling, running around and all that
That sounds about right.
kind of fits the mold.
That's a topic we might have to dig into a little more in the future.
The kobold? It's probably not how you say it at all.
Yeah. How's it spelled?
Koboid.
That looks like koboid. We'll go with that. Sounds right.
According to the museum's curator, they still get between 1 to 3 letters every day, with letters apologizing for not following the rules, being disrespectful, and asking for forgiveness. Robert still receives presents like cash, candy, money, and sometimes weed.
Damn.
Which they keep a big room full of all of his stuff. And the museum sells Robert the Doll replicas and merch, which helps support his care. You can find it online or at the museum. They have like books, calendars, cups.
Nothing about that sounds like it's a good idea.
About bringing a little Robert home. I feel like he'd be perfect in your pod lab with your other dolls.
He would. He'd have lots of friends here. My other one is actually in my case right now since I took my wall down behind me.
Keep him locked up.
So she's in with all my antique stuff, which is probably not great either. Right next to my haunted chair, actually.
Do you think Eugene actually was interacting with Robert, or do you think this was like a scapegoat for like, oh, Robert did it? Or do you think it was a mental health issue? Do you think it was like a spirit? Like, what do you think?
I feel like it was him trying to get away with a bunch of shit saying, oh, the doll did it because he didn't have a dog. But if it's like, my only thing is if people were hearing something respond, that's the only thing that makes me go, maybe there is something a little fishy here. Because imaginary friends don't, I mean, unless he's making the guttural sound.
How hard would that be to make a voice?
Like, well, what about those 2 girls that you covered in ouch? Was that a ghost that were throwing their voice and like clicking their toes or whatever, like popping their toes under the table?
The Fox sisters.
Yeah, like they were doing stuff like this. Maybe he was just practicing ventriloquism and that's why it sounded like a guttural voice.
Could be. And who's to say he couldn't play tricks doing the giggling?
Exactly. He could giggle and run up and down, then he goes in there and he runs in his room real fast. I don't know what you're talking about.
Robert, I'm really sorry. Can we get a little bit of like good luck with this internet till we finish, please? So you think it was more just like a scapegoat?
I feel like it was a scapegoat.
But the Myrtle Rooter thing too, the next owner, same thing.
Yeah. But did she know about it? Did they warn her or did they just say, here's a doll?
Well, it was part of the, hey, you want to buy this? The doll's included. I don't think you'd have a great feeling.
But what I'm saying, if they gave her some history behind the doll, then maybe she would be looking for it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And her family's just screwing with her, moving the doll all around the house. That would be so funny. I would do that to somebody.
Oh, I don't know. It just feels like it's a scapegoat or he just had an active imagination. He was the only child. He was probably lonely.
No, he was the youngest child. I think there was 4 total, but he was the baby.
Oh, well, in that case, well, and I don't know.
But
then.
you could also,
you could
be lonely if you're the baby at home and all the other kids are out with their friends. You know what I mean? You're still.
True. I don't know. I just feel like with it, if it's just bad luck, I mean, bad luck happens all the time. Like I am the poster child for weird shit happens.
The erasing of like full photo rolls, though, is strange when people go to visit him. Like having some sort of electronic problem.
Yeah, that part is a little weird.
Because I can see phones not working, but like erasing a whole roll is strange.
I'll give him that one. That is kind of strange.
We have never had internet this bad before. This is the worst connection we've ever had. He's messing with ours. Sorry, Robert.
Yeah.
Would you go visit Robert?
I would say probably yeah. I'd go visit Robert.
I would too. I would definitely follow the rules though too.
Just to see what all the hype's about. And I think it'd be interesting to put Robert and Annabelle next to each other.
And then you're going to have little baby...
They could have boyfriend, girlfriend.
Offsprings. They're gonna make little creatures.
Like on that one Ghostbusters movie with the marshmallow man, but he turns into like a bunch of little marshmall men and he's like running around everywhere.
That's what you're gonna unleash if you put them in the same
But they're made out of two totally different things. So maybe they're not compatible because they're not made out of the same substance.
He's 121. He has needs.
I'm a real boy. Sorry, Robert. Oh, jeez. If I wasn't cursed, I am now.
Yeah, so if you do decide to go visit Robert, remember to be respectful. And sorry for looking at you while researching Robert. Yeah, we're going to end this because
we're going to have to wrap it up.
This internet is insane. I'm sorry, Robert. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Sorry, Robert. Maybe we got. Don't forget to creep it weird.
Till next time, everybody. Bye.
Bye.